And good evening, good afternoon, good morning to wherever you're watching from here in the Philippines and from all over the world. And welcome to my podcast, the RJ Ledesma Podcast. It's great to be back here on air. And again, here at the RJ Ledesma Podcast, I interview the country's pioneering business personalities and entrepreneurs to learn more about how they think about doing business, what are their success secrets, how have they innovated their businesses or come up with businesses during this pandemic? But more importantly, what opportunities do they see emerging in the new normal? Now, is there a business personality or entrepreneur that you would like me to interview here on the podcast? Please let me know. I would love to speak to them. I would love to learn from them. Just drop me a message. We are also live right now on Kumu, CBRC TV, Global Pinas TV, and now the Bounce Back Network. Very happy to be back here again on the RJ Ledesma podcast. As I interviewed, this is great. We've had different talks here on fintech, on prop tech tonight. We're going to have a talk on legal tech from our good friends in UNAWA. Now, UNAWA is a pioneering Filipino regulatory and legal technology company which is advancing the ease of doing business here in the Philippines and across the region. Their company offers the simplest and most convenient way to digitize key transactions through its digital transaction hub. Now, to learn more about this one, I want to welcome here right now on the show the CEO of UNAWA and also the founder of PGS Law, Attorney Reggie Barrientos, together with the COO and Vice President of Operations and Business Development of UNAWA. We got Attorney Gino Jacinto. Attorneys, welcome to the show.
Hi, RJ. Thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Hi, RJ. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone.
Well, Attorneys, thanks so much
Yep.
for coming over here. I know what I particularly like the story that we're telling. Here's, I've had people with different backgrounds over here, but this is the first time I actually had lawyers who are pioneering an app, and you're putting on your what I call your entrepreneurial mindset, using your own legal background. So, Attorney Reggie, I understand that you are the co-founder of UNAWA. So, in a nutshell, what is UNAWA all about? How do we explain that?
Nako, I will do the test on Gino. Gino will explain that and I will give the story. Gino, take it away.
Gino, go ahead.
Are we missing? All right. Yeah, so UNAWA, as you mentioned, we're a pioneering legal regulatory startup here in the Philippines. We started about 2019, going fully operational someone in 2021. Here, I think we have Attorney Reg here now. But yeah, so we went
Yeah.
operational in 2021. Simply put, as you said, we are trying to allow for digital technologies to enter into the legal workspace, as well as the general consensus within the Philippine workforce framework.
Okay. Now, so this is very curious. So when you look at it, you said you were able to bring it live in 2021. So was this something that was a result of the pandemic, like it was inspired out of? Because many businesses which have actually appeared here in the podcast were those that were inspired out of, or forced to good kayo magbukas or i-open yung app or release yung app in 2021 because of the pandemic.
Sige, magandang kwento yan.
Attorney Reg,
Magandang
would you like
kwento.
to answer that?
Okay. Yeah. So, UNAWA as a brainchild really was an inspiration. We've been trying actually in PJS law to transform digitally how we do the legal work, right? There's only 24 hours in a day and you can't stay awake all the time, and it's running after documents, documents after documents, signatures, etc. Hell, right? So we've been trying to do that within PJS for 7 years, and then I realized that we couldn't do it within the firm because there are a lot of work that has to be done while you're transforming. It was really hard to actually do it. Then we ended up being inspired by God sent, creating a joint venture because one of our clients is a technology expert. So Winston Damarillo, who is a Silicon Valley
Winston. Oh,
expert.
wow, Winston. Oh, really
Yes.
great. Wow.
Yes, Winston was a client of is a client of PJS, and when we talked about what we wanted to do, he said, "RegTech, I've been wanting to do RegTech. Let's do it." And UNAWA was born. Right?
Wow.
Incredible.
What a perfect partnership that you were able to gain over there with somebody like Winston Damarillos. But question lang, sige, let's get into this a bit more because in the storytelling, it really comes out. No, now 25 years of your law firm is celebrating 25 years, but the problems that you've been encountering, particularly for the legal profession, have been there from the start. What was the stickiest problem that you were trying to solve? Yung the pinaka headache, the pain point that said na parang I gotta do this app because if I'm not, I'm gonna go crazy. Di ba? That's really it, right? Those are the pain points that you want to solve, Atty. Reggie. Anong
Yes.
pain point yan?
Ang pain point na yan, so it was really inspirational for us. We wanted to start something simple that would touch everybody right away and would have an impact in the community. So what we really wanted to do was to digitize incorporation, post-registration, BIR registration, the simple business process. Of course, that merely translate to all of the documentation, licensing, and permits na dinadaanan nila lahat ng kliyente. Ang gulo-gulo, ang hirap gawin,
Yes.
ang daming oras na aksaya, ang traffic pa. So, start small, start with a concept. So, we created Rapid Start, which was an online digital platform that you could complete the SEC process, the BIR and the LGU online and track it. And just know what's happening, because more often than not, we get stressed when we don't know what's happening on the other end. So we can track it all online over your phone. Beautiful.
I like that. It's if you think about it, you're trying to it was ripe for disrupt. It was ripe for if you look at it from a tech standpoint, ripe for disruption yung legal processing over here because technically it's something that's all non-automated, right? That's and you would think at the start, why did somebody think of it in the first place, right?
Exactly. And we were thinking na why weren't people thinking about it? It didn't matter because what we wanted to do at the heart of everything was we wanted to help. We knew the frustration of a lot of people, so we just wanted to help them provide the solution. So remember, hindi pa to pandemya, 2018 to. 2018, nagawa kami ng Winston and my partner, Mona Lisa. We started conceptualizing what we wanted to do, and we had a product called Rapid Start. And we developed it, and we incorporated right away. November 19, 2019 is our start date. We incorporated. We are going to launch on March 25, if I remember correctly, March 25.
Wow, March 25.
2020.
10 days after the pandemic. The global lockdown, di ba?
In fact, March 2025, maglo-launch, pero we were already, we weren't going out anymore. There were already people getting sick, we were getting scared, etc. Lockdown a few days after that. So we decided no launch, but what are we going to do? We had a product. No one was going to incorporate. What are we going to do? We had a product. But part of our DNA in Unawa was, hey, we're building something that should be making a difference and a commitment to the community. So we started developing products since we already had a stackable technology, thanks to Winston and Amihan,
I,
our
I love it. An authority talking about stackable technology, for me, that's a first. Ha? Parang mga saying it with confidence. I know stackable technology. It's like, it's like it just came out of your mouth, di ba?
because we learn and we continuously learn despite the fact I'm an old fogey on the legal, and it's really great actually if you switch on, and Gino teaches me all the time, and the team, we have a great team, they always keep my mind growing. So yes, we had a stackable technology. We had a technology that actually allowed us to develop something which really made a difference, which was the SignSecure, so electronic signature. And then we ended up still realizing that people still needed to get things signed, moved around, closing deals. Then we developed SafeForm. And then we developed document management system, which we now called Forma. And then remote notary. Ay nako, ang remote notary, yan. Sobrang
Wow,
happy
remote
kami sa...
notary. Sarap niyan, ah.
Yes,
As
we
a business
actually have...
owner, I can appreciate a remote notary.
Exactly. You don't you it would be legitimately a notarized document without having to send it to the canto blind, right?
Mm.
Kung sino
Exactly.
nagno-notarize on. We could, and we did everything, and then now we're able to translate all of that with the new ideas that we also have. So we're so ready to embark into new products and development as well.
Okay. As you're talking about this one, as you're talking about Unawa, the way that I see it is that you actually just built one product at the start. You just built one product. But what you're actually giving to people right now is sort of like a suite of products which they can use that are all related towards, I guess, automating the legal profession here in the Philippines. Is that correct? Is that how I is my understanding correct?
Yes, absolutely correct. That's what we're trying to do, pinpoint the process itself so that there is technology that supports it, even to a point that after you sign the document, RJ, di ba, normally, kung nasa computer mo, saan ko na nga linagay yan?
Oh.
Hahanapin ko na naman 30 minutes to an hour. So Gino can explain the beauty of Forma, which is actually a document management system also, so that you spend more time strategizing, thinking, talking, connecting, developing business rather than being stuck with a documentation that says, hey, RJ, you signed that document. Can you resend it to me? Saan nga yun? And of course, you can't give it to someone else to actually look through your computer, right? Because you have other files there. So
Oh,
it's
confidential files mo
supposed,
yan, di ba? Yeah. Oh.
yes, it's supposed to give you that ease of completing the concept of business through Unawa.
Okay, I want to bring the question right now to Gino over here. Gino, my presumption is that you
Yeah.
were brought in, so usually it's like the CEO conceptualized, but then iba yung how I put it is that iba yung entrepreneur sa executor, right? Sometimes you can't be both,
Hmm.
right? And I guess that's why they brought you in to sort of operationalize the whole thing. First of all, maybe let's take a step back. Since Attorney Reggie gave such a wonderful term that people should learn more. Stackable technology. Baka you can explain to us what the stackable technology means and how you're able to develop from your first software, which was what was the first one again, Attorney?
Rapid start.
From Rapid Start, and
Rapid
how did you
Start.
start.
then how you built it from there? Maybe you can explain what was happening over here. How
Yeah.
would stackable technology be in terms of how you guys used it for your business?
Oh, happy to, RJ. Again, thank you for having us. So you did mention that Unawa started off with Rapid Start, but as Attorney Reggie had mentioned in prior, the pandemic had rendered that product. They put a bit of a delay to it, and then we all fell into that pandemic. We had to start working from home, and so we decided to we realized there were certain things needed to effectively work from home. Our attorney Reg already mentioned the electronic signing, the digitization of forms, all the way up to remote notarization. So what Unawa did, we created these four products. Again, that's SignSecure for legally binding electronic signatures with particular validity here in the Philippines. I think that that bears mentioning. The legal expertise behind Unawa made sure of that. Then if you have a document that you want to electronically sign, you need to have a digital document as well. So we came up with SafeForm. And now that you have a digital document that has been electronically signed, you need to have a way to finally to store this safely because these are confidential documents. You want to share this safely. So we created Forma. As we went along, we have certain aspects of the technology that works for one product that we made sure can work for the others as well. We made sure that they are, as you mentioned, stackable, that they can really stand either on their own or together so that development time is more practical. You can really use it across many things and not essentially put all your eggs in one basket in terms of development.
Okay. The interesting thing that I find over here, I'm going to wear my hat as a businessman and an entrepreneur, is that it's a
Okay.
very interesting legal technology which you've developed. And you could have just used it proprietarily for PJS and made that your competitive advantage. I mean, that's how I see it, right? Because if you're able to do it very well, why do I have to share it as a technology to other people? Especially to other to other law firms. Attorney Reggie, I wouldn't mind giving me some perspective on that one because I mean that naturally that's what you would think of, right, at the start.
Yeah.
Okay, to why will I share it? This is what's going to make me. This is my secret sauce. This is what makes me faster, better, cheaper, more efficient than other people.
Actually, that's a very, very good question. And that was a lot of discussions also on my end with my partners. But really, at the end of the day, we saw how the legal industry was actually doing its service, and a lot of lawyers were really burning out. It's not just a PJS phenomena; it's like all lawyers, and
Mhm.
multiply that into the private sector, government sector. We knew that if we kept it to ourselves, what good would it do if it's just us that's benefiting from it? So we felt that if we're creating something, might as well have some impact to it. So we decided that we shouldn't. And in fact, we could have done it within PJS and then shared it with the other law firms as well. But we said, may element of trust and kailangan may arm's length yan eh.
Mhm.
So we thought that it shouldn't stay in PJS. It should be in another entity, separate and distinct. And it's really
I see.
separate and distinct. So that's how it was born. So we thought we wanted to help people,
Well,
even our competitors.
yeah, that's what I was saying. You're helping even your competitors grow their business, but I guess um, a rising tide lifts all boats. That's how I think. That's how I would think of the app, and
Correct.
that's how Unawa. It helps everybody else. It improves the legal profession as a whole. If you think about it. Now, going back to when you actually developed this app, no, what I'm wondering right now is when you were putting it together, um, everything was, in the startup industry, they often say that everything was bootstrap, meaning that it came from you, di ba? Yung pera galing sa'yo, bootstrap, di ba? So you use your own money to grow the business. When you were starting out, was it PJS funding everything to grow the business?
Oh my gosh.
To grow the app?
There's still a lot of, how do you say, sweat, tears, and blood that's actually involved. And I think that's one of the advice we really would want to share out there to the entrepreneurs and in the startup businesses is that there's going to be a lot of sacrifice.
Mhm.
And the one value or one discipline that should be natural for everyone is number one, kailangan ka matipid. Kailangan kang marunong mag-fold ng sleeves mo. Ikaw ang magde-deliver. Ikaw ang sasagot ng phone. Ikaw ang gagawa ng lahat because there's no one else. You really have to bootstrap with the little that you actually have. So there's a lot of sweat, tears, and blood, a lot of advances that had been put in place from all of the founders in order for us to come up with a business plan. and a product that is going to be convincing, so that not just the industry, but also the investors that you're approaching will be convinced that you are worthy of their money that they're investing in you, and you are worthy or responsible enough to make sure that you will make that grow, spend it wisely, and show your proof. The proof will always be in the pudding.
Very, very interesting. So, if I may ask, no, the way that I'm seeing it, Unawa, right? You provide several different legal services that help automate all people's legal needs, or not just not. It's a B2B and a B2C, right? So it's B2B from technically from you as Unawa, like one legal service to another legal service, which is a law firm, right? And then the law firm to their clients
Yes.
who use the firm. So that being the case, what is the business model? I'm trying to appreciate. Is it a SaaS? Is it a subscription as a service to use Unawa, or is it for use of the legal document? How exactly is how does this business make money? If you don't mind me asking, attorney
Gino.
Gino, you're back. Yes,
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But yes, I
no
am
worries.
back when I did hear that tail end of your question. So we do have a B2B component as well as a B2C. Very rightfully so, as mentioned, we do have a subscription as a service for the majority of our products, particularly SignSecure and Forma. In fact, this could be used by anyone, RJ, not just lawyers, not just people in the law firm. We have actually opened this up to all
Mhm.
individuals who want to participate in the digital economy. So we do have a subscription as a service for the first two products, and for SafeForm, we do have transaction based, as well as RNotary that will be transaction based as well. Our
Interesting,
goal with
interesting.
this is to make the platform so available to the general populace that it really allows for mass adoption of digitization, because that's what we really want. As Attorney Reggie said, digitization and automation helps with more than just the business aspect. There's also a personal level. When you have more time for yourself, having certain automated schemes allow you to get back more time for the individual. That's very important for us.
Got that, got that. I found this very interesting. Attorney Reggie earlier was talking about making sure that you're ready to present a great business plan for investors. That's why I talked about the business model. But more importantly, I think I found something very interesting as I was talking to Gino offline before we began this discussion, that you actually approached another revolutionary platform to raise your money. I know you're probably your first set, I guess, your first round was through a crowdfunding platform called Round One. Tell me more about that one. Tell me, I'm interested to find out what was the fundraising process to start up. Siyempre, noong una, di ba, you were telling me, Attorney Reggie, it's really blood, sweat, tears, or, PJS funding literally at the very start. But you go, we can't keep on funding everything, because there's a burn. So, how did you guys eventually transform from that one to securing investors? And what type of investors did you bring? Was it friends and family to bring it in, or did you eventually go to professional fundraisers or investors or venture capitalists or angel investors? How was it like, Attorney Reggie?
So we actually started, and we were very, very lucky when we presented to Maine. And this was during the pandemic, okay? This was during the pandemic. We presented to Maine, and Maine appreciated our business model,
Sorry, Attorney Reggie, who's
our
main? If you don't mind, who is main?
Maine.ph. So this is Manila Angel Investors
Ah, the Manila
Network.
Angels Investors Network. Okay, okay,
Yes,
got it.
sorry, correct,
Mhm.
correct. Sorry, readers, listeners. Manila Angel Investors Network. It is such a great network. All of the parties, all of the angel investors are there. And all of the startups are also there, willing to help each other out, learning, sharing. It's a community that really is very inclusive. So we were very lucky. We were one of the first, in fact, who had presented to Maine. And after our presentation and months that had followed, we went through the due diligence process. And we did have angel investors coming from Maine who had invested in us. That investment had allowed us to actually redevelop, pivot, etc., um, change, map out our business plan and business model, The angel investors that we had from Maine also sat in our board and became our advisory board and was able to connect us, give us more ideas, so allowed us to um, put our foot inside the door and open more opportunities. So that was
Great.
the great aspect of it. And then after Maine, now that we have Maine angel investors with us, then we're also doing a pioneer fundraising round through round one, and Gino can explain the round one
Yeah,
aspect of this.
I'm interested. This is very
Yeah.
that I mean, it's great not only for us to find out, it's great for the other entrepreneurs and startups listening right now to discover more about round one. Tell us about what exactly is round one.
So yeah, round one. First, if anyone from round one is listening, hi, thank you for being here, and thank you for having us on your platform. So simply put, RJ, round one is another pioneering entity here in the Philippines. They're the first to be allowed to do equity crowdfunding through their public portals. So it's very, you don't have to go through the traditional venture capitalist firm. I'm sure many of your watchers
Mhm.
are familiar with Kickstarter or other platforms in the states that's been allowed and flourishing for a long time. So, with the opening of round one, with the help of WD, who's consulted with them on many aspects, also Attorney Reggie and Attorney Raquel Chavez from PJS also helped them with some of the legalities of some of their work. There was a lot of consultation done. They opened
So
the
it was a
floor to
nice
the general
synergy
public to
while they
be,
were putting it up. They needed
yeah,
legal
there's
help,
definitely a
so they
good
got,
synergy.
it was a great
Yeah.
synergy over
So
there.
now is
Oh,
also we're just in discussion to allow us to help them with our technologies, but the legalities of it, PJS helped them. Their own legal teams have
okay,
helped
a
them there.
great
So
partnership.
the
I love
good
that.
thing about that, yeah, the great thing about what they're doing is they open up the floor to probably smaller investors, people who don't know how to participate in or finding new ventures to get involved in here in the Philippines. Round one has helped them there. So definitely, if you're looking to fundraise in that particular setting through equity crowdfunding, we do recommend reaching out to Round One Philippines. They've been very helpful with us thus far.
Fantastic. Now I want
So
to go back a
RJ,
bit more. Yes,
yeah.
please, attorney. You were saying.
Yeah. So RJ, since you our listeners also are probably considering doing their crowdfunding. So round one is actually using a new regulation issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Mhm.
So based on the
Mhm.
platform actually ends up interviewing companies that actually want to do fundraising through the crowd. So the crowd can actually raise, they can participate and say, I want to put in 5,000, I want to put in 10,000. So these are smaller chunks, just consider like a stock exchange, but this is more like specific to companies that have been vetted out by round one. And
Mhm.
now the public is able to say, I want to invest in company A and company B, and they complete that round until they complete the minimum allotment to be raised, and then you complete the round.
Attorney, I'm glad we're talking about this one. Let's do a bit of a public service, if you don't mind, no? Because there are a lot of crowdfunding services supposedly right now. How do investors know how to vet what is, and people can claim that they have the platform or the license, and people have been scammed, duped, or
Yeah.
especially the smaller investors. How do they know
Yes.
that they're talking to a legitimate crowdfunding platform? Because some people have their naka, na, natenga, di ba? Marami people na
Yep.
people put money into crowdfunding here locally, and the money they can't touch anymore. And some people have spirited away the money.
Very good point. Absolutely good point, because now that everything is online, digital, etc., we've like multiplied scammers all over, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes,
before
yes.
you act, even if you see them, if you see an online presence, that doesn't mean they're legit. So as you see an online presence on crowdfunding, you have to double check, and you double
Mhm.
check on the SEC website, because crowdfunding platforms are required to be accredited and registered with the SEC. Only
Okay.
those accredited are then allowed to actually accept money. Why? Accredited and registered crowdfunding platforms have a high bar in terms of um, compliance requirements. So ang daming reports na kailangan, ang daming thresholds na imi-meet kailangan ng accredited crowdfunding platforms.
Fantastic. And another question I wanted to ask, which I find pretty interesting, is that you told me that you had to pivot from your original idea of what UNAWA was supposed to be when you went through the Manila Angels Investors Network. I'm just curious, no, what was the biggest thing that you came in thinking that UNAWA would be this one, but then the pivot, because of all the insights and iterations, you course corrected after listening to the veteran investors of me and other people.
Oh, um, that you had a great product that can help the government and the government institutions, right? So you can just pick 1, 2, 3 government institutions, and then you can help them. And then you can multiply the millions of Filipinos that you could help. You know very well the product works and your heart is pure, and you go there and you tell them.
Okay.
And
So
then,
they sort of narrow, did they
sasarap.
narrow down your focus to you? Again, so that's what happened. Boom, di ba?
Boom! Excited na excited ka. Bigla kang nabuhusan ng ng tubig.
Cold water, di ba? Ah! Di ba?
Especially during the pandemic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Especially during the pandemic that, you can't go out, but you want to
Naka-zoom
help.
pa kayo lahat when they're critiquing your business, no?
Yeah. Or sometimes hindi na magkikritik. Sasabihin pa sa'yo na, hindi naman kailangan yan eh. Parang, paano ba ngayong ginagawa? Paano sila pupunta sa inyo? Basta hindi naman kailangan yan eh. Parang I'm like, oh my God. We're here to help you. You have nothing yet. And we're here literally, at very, parang palugi na siya eh, para lang makatulong, right? Pero I
get what you
guess
mean,
a good
exactly.
heart is not enough. So, you really have to figure out how to approach, when to approach, and when also to throw the towel and pivot somewhere else. So, as a type A person, I just can't take losing. So it was my board who would have to tell me, oh, Reg, stop. Pivot, move somewhere else. And like water, find another, opportunity and let the water flow.
Got that. Very, very interesting. Now, as the product, as you try to having to pivot the business, and this happens to many entrepreneurs, and it seems like it happened to you as well. That there's sort of like that low point when you told yourself, "Bakit ko pa ginagawa ito? I could have just stuck to lawyering and doing my work, but you still went ahead." What is that point? Because many entrepreneurs get to that low point in that roller coaster thing. What is that point for you when you were developing this app in the midst of the pandemic?
I'm going to switch that question and actually ask Gino the question. Have you ever gotten to that point, Gino, that you wanted to give
Where are
up?
we? Well,
Was there?
my connection
Yeah.
is proving to be quite frustrating tonight. But other than that,
Oh,
I'm happy to say that the work environment at UNAWA is really good. I did have the questions beforehand, RJ, especially the part where I wanted to give up or quit. Not to make for a boring show, but luckily on my end, that does not apply at UNAWA. We have a really good work environment. It was fostered very well by Attorney Reggie and the other founders. That's what we try to really teach and replicate here in the company. It's been great. It's been really good. If you have a good work environment, you have a good team, I don't think there will ever be a time where you want to give up. Just challenge yourself further. So luckily for me, no, I have not had that moment.
But how about, let's say, for example, in terms of the traction, because di ba usually they say, pag app yan or service yan, dapat nagka-traction ka agad. Was there a point that when you said, okay, I'll release the app
Mhm.
or release the service, at wala nag-sign up, or, it wasn't as expected? Or was it when you put it out again, wow, it's better than I thought? What was it like?
Gino, you want to try that?
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying that when the app was released, I usually want there's traction, because that's the challenging part. Like sometimes some
Mhm.
apps they release and it didn't do well at the start, so they're going, oh no, I mean, do I give up now? Do I course correct? Do I iterate? Or when you released UNAWA to the public, or to the legal profession, instantly you saw that the traction was very well.
Gino, you want to try that or is still
No,
having problems?
yeah, I'll give it a try. No, I think I'm okay. I'll give it a try, Attorney Reg. For the most part, RJ, I wish the traction was immediate. All of us inside of now, we realize what we can do, what the product has to offer, and we often wonder if the rest of the public will adhere to this, especially in the space we're at, in the legal profession, in as Attorney Reg with the LGUs, the smaller businesses. People have a tendency to shy away from adoption of new technology. They have their established methods. They have what works, particularly in our industry, where our competitor, in a way, is the paper method, the paper use, and what people are
Mhm.
comfortable with. We had to just overcome that challenge of really getting people comfortable with the new technologies and to make sure that it doesn't disrupt their own workflows and own operations so much. That for the most part, that's where we had to really showcase our product in that sense. Is
Okay,
that answering our
I got
question,
that.
RJ?
So
Sorry, my connection is just not cooperating
that's okay.
today.
But would you like to ask that, Attorney Reggie? How was it like when the app was initially released? How did you initially, I guess, put out the app for other people to use? Because I mean, you were contemplating for the longest time, should we release it? Should we not release it to the public? Then you went through the to me to get people to invest to grow it. What was the first step? Tell me about the first time that when finally Unawa was an app and you released it. How was the initial reaction?
So the initial reaction was actually, wow, what I love is there's a Filipino company that is able to do this. That to me provided the inspiration and gave the traction of, sharing the good news of Unawa, and you see the shares actually that happen. And social media was very, very helpful,
Mhm.
especially at the time when we were in pandemic. So kind of like, kung may bagong good news, at least good news rather than bad news. Imagine 2 years ago, we were all surrounded
Mm.
with bad news, right? So it created that traction. But to us, the challenge really was also to keep the users that we've had, the individual users and the enterprises that were already using us, we needed to keep them as well. And
Mhm.
so we were challenged additionally that, yay, wow, we have sign secure, we can sign electronically, but we had to bring something else out there. So you can't rest on just one, and you have to continuously develop to keep your your customers in place, customers interested, and customers to continuously use. Our greatest challenge actually is that we're such a small company,
Mhm.
and syempre, burn is a concern for us, and
Yes,
we're
of
very,
course.
very,
Oo.
di ba? So we didn't have enough to actually publicize and to go all the way out there, right? To do our marketing spiel. And then we realized that, the international brands like DocuSign, to us, DocuSign is the mammoth that's really out there,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
just continues to grow. And we while we were doing our products, developing it, we had so much better product than DocuSign, but we didn't have the reach of DocuSign. So by the time we get to companies that we were reaching out to, ang sakit talaga sa puso pag sasabihin sa iyo, para lang kayong DocuSign eh. May DocuSign na kami. Parang, di ba? Parang, Pinoy, better product, right? And eventually, again, DocuSign also gets better because they're like, all over the world, thousands of developers versus Unawa, which is small. But it never stopped us. It never stopped us. It just got, and that's why Gino was talking about the team, how the team really is. We own what we do. We take pride in what we do. And Gino and I don't have all of the ideas. If you could just be in the group when we have brainstorming of what's the next product, what are we thinking of, what should be out there, etc. The ideas just keep on coming, and Gino and I are just like, oh wow, right? Like completely shocked, and it's really a great team. So for me, Filipinos are so talented, and I wish that all of the enterprises out there would support the Filipino product rather than an international product, especially because we know Unawa can compete with DocuSign and all of the
And
other.
and you understand because you also understand. I guess one of the idiosyncrasies that you have for creating this product is that it's meant for a local a local legal market, diba? But that's my question, no? Because being a document that is local, I mean, one of the advantages you might have is you have to go to the hoops just to make sure that okay, it's legally accepted here in the Philippines. Tell me a bit more about that. That's what I find curious right now. For the other documents which said, how do I know it's a legally binding document? What did you guys have to? What hurdles did you guys have to go through just to secure that sort of credibility or verification for your documents?
So I guess for us, Gino, is your connectivity good already?
I think so. I'll give this a try, RJ. I should get more involved in this little show. Sorry about that, everyone.
No,
It's
no worries,
very
no worries.
embarrassing. No, but for the most part, yeah, definitely, we're trying to make a product that's available and more oriented for the Philippine setting. Attorney Reggie and I know we have the rules of electronic evidence. We have that sort of thing going for us there. But also importantly, for an electronic signature to be valid, RJ, there has to be a few things that the program can establish, the platform can establish rather. One, there should be a manifestation of consent that when you do sign, you are signing out of your free will, and we have tried to encompass this by adding different layers and different ways to sign. You can physically manifest your consent by jotting your signature physically. You can upload your signature. We do realize this is quite dangerous because as become very proliferant in the pandemic, people have used their a PDF or a JPEG of their signature,
Mm,
which starts to get
yes.
scattered around. So if you're signing an electronic document, you're not sure about the veracity or where that signature has come from. So what we had done is we make sure there's another connectivity to your identity. It links to your registered number so that when you want to upload your document, it will send you an OTP to your registered devices
Ah,
so that you can
okay.
really put that
Okay.
onto the document and have that sort of manifestation. And importantly, because this is a digital document, we wanted to make sure it's not subject to non-repudiation matters, right? Meaning, the document has to be presented as it's been signed. So what did we do here? Again, using available technology, using just a few things, we incorporated a QR code so that if the document ever gets printed or shared around as a PDF, or even worse, altered through clever means like Photoshop, all you have to do is scan the QR code, and the original document that's locked in our system, locked in our blockchains, our clouds, will be pulled up for you to do a little visual comparison, knowing that there's no forgery is no longer a distinct possibility, or at the very least, it's very difficult to do. So we had to make sure we did that.
Got that. Got that. Attorney
I'm
Reggie,
sorry. I hope
did
you
you want
got
to add to
that. I
that?
just got a note
Yeah,
that
we got
it's a
that.
bit choppy. Thank you.
So, so it's as simple as you putting your signature on Unawa, whether you sign with your finger via your phone or your computer or you upload. But the thought process behind it really breaks it down in terms of we wanted something that was non-repudiated. So the non-repudiation of your signature is actually part and parcel into the system. So if you have an UNAWA SignSecure document, non-repudiation na yan ang
Okay.
concept na makukuha mo. So if you apply that with um, other platforms out there, if you do go through the test of can you repudiate that, etc., kung pwede ibang tao maglalagay dyan, it will fail the test. So, and we've tried. I've been asked to sign. And whenever I'm asked to sign another platform, I'm like, okay,
Mm,
hindi to papasa. Oh my God, my signature. Iniiba ko yung signature.
got that.
Kasi
Got that.
baka lalabas siya kung saan-saan eh.
Exactly. Exactly. So interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
you thought of all the pain points ahead of time. But Attorney, I also have a question because what I found interesting about the first document is that safe six. Was say the first product again? It's the
Sign secure.
secure.
Sign
But I
secure.
remember you said that you tried to do a document where where it would combine that from different government agencies. You can just do one document. Did you have to work with those other government agencies just to get the approval of them to secure to use UNAWA as well, or to approve
So
UNAWA?
Yes. So you really have to go through the hoops in order for a local government or a government agency or a department to actually use uh, UNAWA or even SignSecure for that matter. So maraming proseso ang dadaanan, and for all entrepreneurs and startups out there, one of the things you have to learn is patience, at kahit gaano kahirap, kailangan ka pa rin mag-smile and mag-thank you.
Ito yung
Kahit
part
galit na galit ka na.
ito yung non-automated part.
Yes.
No.
But that was kumbaga, that was the behind the scenes work. That was the back office work you have to do to make sure that the app would be acceptable. Tama ba ako?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh, now moving on. This is what I find interesting right now. For many apps or for many services, they want to make sure that your service is scalable, right? That it will exponentially grow, and that's what I see for many apps that are created. How exactly is Onawa's idea to also be scalable at the same time? Because the way I see it, you've got your B2B for the legal profession, and you've got your B2C for specific products within the app, right? So how's it working for you guys? Is that your objective also? That it's going to be a very scalable service, or scalable growth, or exponential growth for Unawa?
Gino, that's you.
I, I I can jump on this one. Yeah, RJ, definitely we're trying to be very scalable. Again, I have to clarify that our products are designed. Of course, we have the legal field very much covered, but we would really like this to be to be part of any business. Anyone who is working in our economy now, in the digital economy, would need tools like this. So we are not targeting niches or anything like that. It's actually the grand scale of the economy here, so what we were trying to do with this is not just the full digitization. We're trying to eliminate the use of paper, and I don't want to go too highfalutin about it, but we have to take care of our carbon footprint, our environmental impact, and the use of paper is very large and heavy into that. And for the lack of a better explanation, the digitization of this will really help eliminate the need for paper. So our scaling up is not necessarily into just the legal field, the law firms. It's really any business that needs documentation, the collation of this, the collecting of it, can fall and use under the UNAWA platform. We'll be very blunt. For the most part, the only thing that cannot be used fully by the UNAWA platform are documents that need to be notarized, because the current landscape, the rules require for a wet signature here. But anything beyond that, anything that needs to be signed that does not need to be notarized just yet, can be done through our products.
And
Got that. Yes,
and
Attorney
and
Reg.
and I guess also to add to Gino, um, what we have, I think the concept that we put into the core of our developed product is that it is also interoperable. The fact that while our system, our platform works, and you come in and everything goes smoothly into our system is also able to work with other system.
Mhm.
So if there is a platform that already has a payment system, has another aspect of service, we can be integrated into the system through the API connectivity, etc., that makes it all seamless. So
Wow.
yes, you're laughing at
I'm
me
saying,
again.
wow, I'm talking to a lawyer over here talking about API connectivity. I say, wow. Parang sabi ko, nako, talagang you drank the Kool-Aid ni Winston, di ba? When you were talking to him, then you got everything, huh?
'Di ba? Na na na
Oh.
na ano na woof ni sorry, may Ilonggos coming out, not the Tagalog. Lingin na ulo ko, nilinggin-lingin.
No, but
But really,
I'm just very. It is great, because I mean that's how it's going to be moving forward with regard to the app. But no, yeah, please go ahead, attorney. You want to say something?
yeah, because we feel that there is no one company that will be able to find solution for everyone. But if we work together and we're able to jointly provide a solution that can provide the impact in one industry, one company, etc., then we should. And that is exactly what we found out the clients actually need. And so that is the skill set also that our developers actually have. And that's what Gino and I end up learning from our developers, how we can improve our product. So where is your app going to go? Not just scalability, but interoperability as well in that
Mm.
level.
Uh, the app, you said it's going to be here in the region. I mean, in the Philippines, and you expect it to grow. I guess, no. I mean, eventually outside of the Philippines, and maybe that's usually the goal of others. So I wanted to ask you, where do you see Unawa over the next 5 years, aside from just being here in the Philippines?
Well, we hope it doesn't even take 5 years. We really hope that we will be in the region. And hi, okay, I love it. It's not just being in the region, not just in not in 5 years. RJ, we hope that by next year we will already have hopefully two countries within the region, and then the
Exciting.
following year.
What are the countries, your target countries, and what are the specific apps that you're going to be in Unawa that will be, or service from Unawa that will be used in the other regions that you think are easily reapplicable?
So for us, the keenest interest actually is on the electronic signature, which is SignSecure, and e-notary. So, or electronic notary or remote notary. So we are actually already developing electronic notary. So that is what we hope we will bring within the region, because we have key interest partners as well who want to make the same impact. So we're looking for partners that has the same DNA as we do and will help the economy grow in the digital economy. I mean.
Wow, very. That's what I find. Actually, that's what I find very, very interesting as to how the app will grow. Now, here's another question I want to throw to you. Um, if you saw a lot of pain points which were emerging in the legal profession or in the course of what you're doing, and there might be other, let's say, legal professionals or other people in in the legal ecosystem. Are there still other opportunities that you see emerging in your field or in the legal ecosystem where entrepreneurs can still enter the picture that can be solved? In other words, kung may oras ka lang, attorney, at yung, kasi nakita mo yung opportunity or yung potential, gagawin mo, but because you're already doing Unawa, you're not doing it anymore. Do you see also other places, other fields? Because entrepreneurship is such so many great opportunities that you're seeing right now coming up.
Yep.
What are they? Oh.
Ang daming opportunities. As you, I and I guess everybody should just train their minds and actually say, whether you're in the legal profession, whether you're in the medical profession or
Mhm.
healthcare, whether you are in education, hanapin mo yung problema. Hanapin mo kung saan nag-aaway yung mga tao, napipikon sila, nagmumura sila. Pag na
I love that. I
disco
love that. I want to say that again. Hanapin mo kung saan nag-away, napipikon, nagmumura sila. Diyan yung negosyo. Kumbaga, diyan mo
diyan
hanapin
yung
yung negosyo mo. Oo.
yes, pag hinanapan mo ng solution yung problema na yon, tapos gawin mo siyang digital yung solution mo, Web3, whatever, all right,
Oo, oo,
blockchain mo,
oo.
whatever, that would exactly be the opportunity. Why? People would rather not fight. People would rather not have anxiety attacks or miss deadlines. They really want to be able to just go through the day and complete their tasks. So pag nagmumura sila, tanungin mo, bakit ka nagmumura? Ayan, opportunity
Ayan,
yan.
ayan. I love it. I love it. Okay. And having said all that one, I'm going to start wrapping up our discussion here. I find it truly interesting, not just from what the app is doing, but really a lot of great learnings from developing Unawa. And, I think what people should be listening to this one is that, there's so much more to learn, diba? I mean, as a lawyer, there was so much to learn in coming with this one. And look where it's taken you, Attorney Reggie and Attorney Gino. Now, I want to just ask, as we start to close things off, no, um, it was a great learning process for you guys from 2020 up to 2022 in putting this app together. So much great learning that you got. If there were two or three pieces of management advice that you want to share with people, startup entrepreneurs in particular, who are also, who are on the verge of putting up their app? What would you like to share with yourself, or what would you like to share with them? What did you like to, parang you learned it, if you knew it prior to putting up Unawa, it would have been faster yung development ninyo. Attorney Reggie, ikaw.
Um, First of all, you do not have the monopoly of answers. Neither would you have the monopoly to actually be the solution maker. Always listen to your team and learn from everybody else. So I always tell my team, kayo yung boss, kayo yung magsasabi sa akin kung anong kailangan nyo at saka akong tutulong. Because my gosh, really at the end of the day, I've really realized that the more enabled your team are, the more you can get things done, because the solutions actually come from the people who work it all out and know the product, know the industry, know the customer better than one person can or I can. So my job is I am the CEO, but I'm really the cheerleader
Cheerleader.
extraordinaire. Cheerleader extraordinaire. Okay, that's it.
Oh, really great, really great. Thanks so much, Attorney Reggie Barrientos of Unawa and also of PJS Law. And then for you, Gino, what are your advice for the other entrepreneurs also who are trying to, try to make their
Um,
way through this startup world?
well, I think the first one definitely to make sure you have a very good internet connection and have fail safes at that when doing anything.
Tama, tama.
I'm very
Oy,
sorry again.
may nagbubura dyan. So Gino, tama sabi ni Attorney Reggie, kung may nagbubura sa internet connection nila, may magagawa kayo dyan. So
Yeah.
yan, this has been actually
Yeah,
an opportunity
definitely.
for you
No,
guys, hindi lang di ba? Hindi lang para sa atin to, di ba? You can use it. You can use
no,
it
for
now as
sure. But
inspiration for a new business.
in all seriousness, to answer, oh yeah, definitely. I definitely need a second connection. I think one provider might not be enough, as it seems. No,
Oo.
but just to jump off what Attorney Reg said, it's definitely very important to build a good team. I think, well, one of the biggest learnings I have from Onawa is making sure that the team is well in place, and we're very lucky to have a very good one. I think a lot of startups have to take into account that the team you have is as important as your customers. You take care of your team, your product will be highlighted very much so. And also, don't be afraid to disrupt. There are a lot of people, a lot of companies doing what has been traditionalized and for a very long time, particularly in what we've been talking about, the use of paper, the use of physical storage, and all of that. Don't be afraid to break the mold. It might be difficult at first, but just persevere. Productize, ideate, and shift as needed. Don't be disheartened if things don't go right the first time. Yeah, because you'll get there. And those experiences what makes you build a better company and product.
And you never get it right the first time. I think that's the most important thing that entrepreneurs, especially in the startup world, people are very keen to it, but in the non-startup world, people aren't too keen to it. But you're never gonna get it right
Yeah,
the first time around. Am
absolutely.
I not right? Diba? Attorney Reggie knows that
No,
one from all
absolutely
her
correct.
sit downs with Beam, diba? And
Yeah,
everybody
and
else.
it's and touching on exactly what Gino said, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Because the
Oh,
moment you're fearful of making a mistake, you're too cautious and you won't be able to change. You don't won't be a game changer. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you're definitely going to learn from the mistake. And when you have a good team, it's just really okay, we made a mistake. Let's learn from it, move on.
got that. Just to let people know, if they want to visit the Unawa website you've got here right now, can we flash it on screen, Mike? It's unawa.asia. So if you want to check out Unawa, it's unawa.asia. Let's flash it over there. And that's UNAWA.ASIA. At the same time, we also have, maybe we can also help people out with round one. I would love for people to learn more. And Gino, put me in touch with the round one people. I would love to have them here in the show as well. If they want to check out the crowdfunding
Yeah,
website
sure,
of round one,
absolutely.
where can
I'll
they go?
connect you right away.
Would you know where they can go? What's the
If they
website?
want to, if they want to be connected to round one, they just go to round one, roundone.ph. I can type that on the chat so you can share with your viewers, RJ.
Perfect, perfect. Guys, this has been a really fun discussion. People were saying over here, I want to greet lang Sally Di Malanta, who's been listening to us here right now. She was saying, wow, has it been an hour enjoying the conversation? Time flies. Part two in the works. Drew Pasaporte also saying, let's go part two. Gico Gueco Del Rosario saying, woot,
Yeah.
woot. Okay, maybe we can have you guys back for more and learn more about what UNAWA is doing. Really, really great conversation that we're having over here. So again, thanks so much for joining me over here, Attorney Reggie. And Attorney Reggie, on short notice, joined us. So again, thanks so much for this truly entertaining discussion, my fellow Ilonggo over here. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks so much, Attorney Gino. Don't worry. Even if you keep on coming in and out, it's still an irritation, something na nagmumura ka, and because nagmumura ka dyan, it can be a potential solution. Opportunity, di ba? In pain points are opportunity.
Definitely.
Yung entrepreneurial mindset. So again, this is RJ Ledesma. Please join me again next Thursday, this coming Thursday, for the next RJ Ledesma podcast. Guys, enjoy yourselves. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, RJ. Thanks, Gino.
Thank you.